What is going on, everybody? My name is Alan, this is Project Elevate, and today I want to talk about the shooting mechanics in 2K23, what I'd like to see, and how that interplays with the contest system. So I have a tier list here, and we're going to get into it. There's a couple things I want to point out before we jump into the tier list. One is that I think green windows should dynamically resize the more contested you get. We do get some of that in 2K22 already, so it's not a far stretch. The other thing is that I believe that the green window should actually get bigger with the attribute boosts, not just the shot mechanics, but the higher the attribute. It shouldn't just boost the percentage of whites that go in. It should actually boost the area that you have to hit the window for green and show you that. Reward that thing. It should be easier to shoot with those guys. When you combine that with contested shots, shrinking the green window, I think it's a good balance system there. So those are the two things that I want to make clear before I kind of get into this. The other thing is, as far as percentages go, I mean, I'm not a dev. I'm not sure where it actually makes sense to have all these, but the main emphasis that I want to come across in this video is that I want there to be clear separation between a lot of these types of tiers, so that it doesn't feel like you're making the same amount of, late wide open shots or late contested shots as you are slightly late wide open shots, stuff like that. All right, so with that being said, let's jump into this tier list. And at the very top, we have excellent wide open, and it should go in almost 100% of the time. You can have a little bit of percentages for error and game balancing, whatever. I know there's issues with having those things go in 100% of the time. How these hierarchies work: this is closer to 100%, this is closer to 95%, this is closer to 80, this is closer to 65, etc., just so there's a hierarchy within each tier. And pretty much excellent, wide open, 15% covered, 43% covered. They should all go in at a pretty high clip. Again, taking into account green windows are shrinking, the harder your contest hits. Moving down into this range here, we have slightly lates and wide opens, and I think they should go in a decent amount of time. I don't know if 80% is too high. Again, not super hung up on the percentages here. I just want a clear separation. You did work for a great shot. You almost hit that green window. It should go in, assuming you have a decent shooter. Here's kind of a change for the way we do things: is excellent release with the heavy contest. I feel like it should still show you that you got a perfect release, but because it's heavily contested, it's not going to go in every single time. As it stands now, you can get an excellent release and it decides, hey, that's going to be that small percentage that you're not going to make it, and it shows you a white even though you got a green, and we know it. Straight arm, stuff like that. You play the game, you know that happens. I'd like there to be more transparency with that, showing you, hey, you actually did hit the green window, but because of the contest affecting it, still going to go in at a pretty decent clip, but not all the time, and that's why. Okay, so moving on, we have slightly late with a lightly contested, and we have slightly late with a more solid contest. These should be kind of your coin flip situations, and on this one, it could be maybe 50-50, a little bit below, accounting for the extra contest, but should still go in at a decent clip. These are NBA shooters. NBA shooters, if they have any type of daylight, they're gonna hit shots, make that matter. We also want to reward the defense, and we'll see that down below. Okay, so now we're getting into shots that aren't gonna go in very often, but they will go in with some type of regularity. You have your slightly early with the heavy contest. You don't want to see too many of these going on. A lot of times this feels like it's up here, not quite up here, but at least up here. You want to reward the defense. You want that to be a big factor in it. You want to have that great defense affect good offense, and you want to have, for example, great offense beat great defense. Stuff like that. That type of concept into play with the whole shooting mechanic. And then down here, about 15% early wide opens. I feel like that went in up here or higher, maybe low end here somewhere. I did not like this at all, and I felt like I got mad at myself when I would even make these. Early is not a good release. Early, you're way outside. You shouldn't be making these very often, and it should feel like that. You should penalize the lack of skill in that, regardless of badges and how you distribute those are a whole other topic, but I feel like these should not go in very often. I have these down here. Now, these two categories are almost never. They should be pretty dang rare. Variations of combinations between a poor timing and good defense. So like here you have a poor timing and you have some type of contest. Shouldn't go in very often, like 10%, maybe something like that. And it just slides down. This is a late release with an even better contest. And again, it's just sliding down. And then very late, wide open, you just totally mistimed that. It doesn't matter if you're wide open, you should not be hitting very lates, hardly ever. Can they kind of go in every once in a while? Yeah, we see, people throw up weird stuff and it just kind of goes in. That should be accounted for in the game, but should be a very rare occurrence. If it's that type of rareness, you can't get that mad at it when it's a shot that's not going to go in very often. Okay, and down here, so I feel like we're going to start with like 0%. Like this should never go in. This should just be like a hard no, regardless of whether it's a layup or a 3-pointer or anything. This should just be a hard no. you messed up the release that bad, they got that good of a contest, this is probably the only thing in this whole chart that should be an absolute. I never want to see this go in. Very close to that would be a very late release with a solid contest. Again, the showing of complete lack of skill and getting a very late should make this a super rarity. And same thing here, late, pretty off the mark there with a solid contest. You got to reward the defense for this. And same thing here, you know, very late, some type of contest should just never ever, you know, not ever, but it should be super rare. And I think with this type of mechanic, the frustration level goes way down. It's just more transparent, it makes sense. And again, the more separation there is between these tiers, the more consistent the shooting mechanics feel, the more consistent the contest system feels. And we still kind of have to live with, hey, if there's a shrinking window, you still hit it, you got to live with these results. The better shooter, the bigger window. If you have that bigger window and you still very late it should just be down here no matter what. So again, I think this system just makes a lot of sense. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. I've gone in depth in the past on this, but I wanted to keep this pretty short for you guys. Look for more videos in the series on how to make 2K23 my team awesome. My name is Alan. This is Project Elevates. Till next time, elevate your grind, game yourselves, and each other. Peace.